Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. If you haven't done so, please subscribe, and if you hit the bell, you'll receive notifications of future videos. And if you're not sure if you like the channel yet, well, watch the rest of this video and make a decision then. So hey, check this out. We're back at hive number 3. It is Sunday, May 31st, probably about 10:30 in the morning. Temperatures in the mid 70s, humidity is about the same. We got some overcast now, but it feels absolutely fantastic out here. So this hive, it looks like they continue to thrive because that's what I like to see when I open the outer cover, peeking into the honey super. So again, this is a routine inspection. I'm just going to take a look at the super, see how they are curing the honey and collecting nectar, and then get into the bottom box, go through the frames looking for the overall health of the colony. If I can find the queen this week, I'm going to use this one-handed queen catcher and mark the queen for the first time, something I've never done. That's what the box looks like. Man Lake sells this for about 25 bucks, but I think you can, well, I picked it up on Amazon for a few dollars less, maybe 20 bucks or so. And then I used the official, I don't know how to say this, Posca paint pen blue for this year. And again, if I can find the queen, I'm going to try and mark her. I've already practiced on a few drones in other colonies. It's a pretty simple device, so we'll see how it goes come game time if I can actually find the queen and mark her. But if I can't find the queen, like usual, I'll be checking the frames for eggs to make sure they still have a laying queen, and a few things for this time of year. So still kind of swarm season. I do find swarm cells occasionally. If I do find a swarm cell, I will have to actually locate the parent queen, and if I can't, course of action number 2, if I can find eggs, especially day-old eggs, I'll have to make an educated guess whether or not they have a queen still. I've done this in the past and it has not backfired on me, meaning I found swarm cells, couldn't find the parent queen, found enough evidence that they had a laying queen in the form of eggs, tore down the swarm cells, and then the following week was able to find the queen, so it didn't backfire. But also, like usual, enough of me yapping, let's get into the colony and see how they're looking this week. And it's been extremely wet lately. For the month of May, we're almost at 40 inches of rain. I have limited smoker fuel, and in fact, if you can tell or not, I don't know if you can, there is some green fuel in here, so keeping this thing lit is a bit of a challenge today. All right. Yeah, let's see how they're doing. Hopefully they are packing away some nectar. That would be super cool. All right, give you a first-hand look into the super. Very nice drawn comb. And some folks around the county are saying their nectar stopped coming in. Not exactly sure how you can really determine that, because typically for this area it flows through about mid-June, which has been my plan this entire season. Now that looks nice. That is beautiful capped honey. Yeah, I'm not really sure how they determine that. My plan, like I was saying, for this season, like all seasons really, I'm going to leave the supers on until about mid-June. But I got a few things going on this year, so I might end up leaving them on until the end of June, actually. That's a pretty light frame, but they are still bringing in some nectar, so that looks nice. All right, well, let's see. Let's take a look at this one real quick. Yeah, that's a nice frame of honey right there. It's about 3 to 5 pounds. One next to it is also is nice. Yeah, it's a nice frame too. All right, let me get the frame spaced out again so I can pull the super off and get into the hive. check on their health. See what this feels like. Probably about 20 pounds if I had to guess. Maybe about 10 pounds or so. And a tip I shared last week or the previous week, just check the bottom side of the queen excluder for the queen. Mainly because you never know where you might find her. I feel like this is a little further away than usual, but I guess it'll be okay. Alright, let's go through the box here and see how they're doing. Again, checking for eggs. If I can't find the queen, I'm looking for queen cells. It's like the main two goals here. Outside frame, usually not much going on. I did supply these colonies with better frames from the deep supers I was running that they just didn't really draw out that well because there was too much space for some of the colonies. So all the colonies now have 10 frames of drawn wax or drawn comb for the queens to lay in. Alright, same thing. First few frames usually not too much on them other than some food. But here we go, frame number 3. Got some nice capped brood. I see a few eggs. Let me grab my flashlight. See a few eggs, pretty spotty, like 1, 2, I mean I can practically count them because there's not eggs on every, there aren't eggs in every single cell. So, something to kind of be concerned with. Because if she laid eggs there, you would think she'd fill in every cell, but for some reason she didn't. But there's really no way to determine the reason, honestly. But this frame has a ton of pupated larvae, probably a ton of eggs on the other side. But first I'm just going to look for the queen, if I can find her. Try and use this queen catcher. See how that works. So far today I've been rather unsuccessful in the other hives with finding the queens because it's almost like they know I'm trying to do something different and they're being very evasive. Yeah, this frame must have had a lot of eggs last week because they've begun to pupate. Some larger pupated larvae on this side, which should be capped in the upcoming week or so. Same thing throughout the rest of the frame here, and then in the bottom right corner there, nice patch of eggs. So they definitely have a laying queen. It's just a matter of finding her at this point. Same thing on this side, or this frame on this side. A lot of pupated larvae. So they're moving in the right direction. They're definitely developing as they should. It's a queen cup. It's dry, meaning it doesn't have an egg, or they're not feeding it royal jelly. And I don't think she's on that frame either. So where are we at? That's frame 5. Alright, here we go, frame 6. Yeah, this queen's definitely kicked into overdrive. This is a nice looking frame. And as these bees hatch out, and then spend some time in the hive before they start foraging, they should be out in the field collecting nectar right as the nectar flow for this area starts to shut down, which is typically mid-June, which is why I plan on leaving the supers on until about the end of the month. So this is a weird thing too, this uncapped brood, which it's not a lot of the cells, it's a few of them, and as you can see they just kind of pull out. So the bees determine something's going on with them. They may have had a few more mites than what they preferred, and they uncap the cells, but that's a whole lot less bald brood than I've seen in the past. So not much of a concern this week. Alright, well, really nothing on this side, but still gonna look. You never know where you'll find her. This side, surrounding the capped brood there, I can see some eggs, quite a few eggs actually, and then a whole bunch of pupated larvae. So she's made her way all the way to this frame, which is pretty typical. That's frame, what, 10, 9, 8, 7. So frame 6 and 7, a lot of nice brood, or eggs, pupated larvae, and some capped brood as well. That's just a great frame if she were to start laying in it. I might switch this one over. Actually, you know, I am going to do that. So this is frame 8. I'm going to put this frame more towards the middle and try to promote her to start laying in this frame, because I mean it is just wide open. There's a ton of space, and I'm going to face it this way. There's just a ton of space on that frame for her to lay eggs in. And let's see, frame number 9. I'll tell you what is a weird thing. I feel like the bees definitely know when you're up to something, and especially the queen, because for weeks, like weeks in a row, I was able to find the queen no problem. And then the one time I want to try something new, she just doesn't want to be found, at least not yet, but one more frame to go. Oh man, I'll tell you what, I'm also not surprised this is how things are playing out this week too. Alright, well, I have no doubt they still have a queen. Found enough evidence in the form of eggs that they have a laying queen. Didn't find any queen cells, so that's always a good thing, but unfortunately that also means that I didn't have a chance to use my cool new queen marking tool. So Just have to keep on trying, I guess. I'll find her one of these weeks. Like I said, I've had really good luck in the several weeks in a row, but go figure, the one time I really want to find her so I can try something different, she just doesn't want to be found. All right, well, that's that. Let's get the super back on. We are done. Typical time, about 10 minutes or so. All right, so that's hive number 3. They're looking pretty good. Queen rate, no queen cells, no swarm cells, no supersedral cells. They continue to cure the honey and collect some nectar, it looks like. So, what is it, May 31st? Yeah, about another month. Should be pulling the supers and harvesting some local honey. Thanks for checking out the channel. Again, if you like the video, please subscribe. If you hit the bell, you receive notifications for future videos. And if you use the icons in the top right of our homepage on the channel, you'll see the Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter icons. We're also on those platforms. But if you just want to search for us, Cole's Farm NC for North Carolina, we'll take you to those pages. All right, hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Let's take a quick look at the front entrance. It's pretty typical for post-inspection. Whole lot of chaos and commotion. Bees are bringing in some nice bright yellow pollen though on the far end. You can see that. Just the one. Yeah, there's another one, so maybe 2. But I'm sure there's quite a few collecting some nice pollen. But yeah, it looks like the nectar flow's still on. They continue to bring in food and they're curing it to honey. And that will be bottled and ready for sale shortly after the July 4th holiday. So if you're local to the Jacksonville, North Carolina area, we will have some honey available come mid-July, is a safe assumption. All right, that's it for this week. Tune in next week for another routine inspection of hive number 3. Thanks for watching, everybody.